everybody to our first what we call ABBA session. This is Biobasics in Coimbatore. I am Ramesh Chandran. I'm founder of Biobasics, and this is Devi, co-founder of Biobasics. We are having a live session for the first time, I think, or maybe not, but where we're going to talk about things which are relevant to all of us from an organic perspective, safe food perspective. For those of you who don't know about Biobasics, we are based out of Coimbatore. We offer close to 300 odd products ranging from fresh produce to groceries and a lot more for people to go organic in their personal lives. And in addition to that, we emphasize a lot on consumer education. We need people to understand why people need to go organic. And so this session we are doing today as part of the what we call the ABBA session, which is also is the Ask Biobasics Anything relating to organic food and such, is a part of this consumer education initiative. So we had done earlier, in fact, last year we did a series of 10 huddle sessions. We called it huddles, where people get together and then we talk about an expert person comes in and talks about certain things which are relating to organic food or farming and such. This is a different version of it. It's a much quicker and much more informal version of it, and we wanted to do this almost, if not every week, at least at least every. We try to do it every week. So, as part of this, we are also joined by other folks from Biobasics in Kochi and Bangalore South and East. If Madhu wants to put up there the slides and the contact details, that will be good. But we
Yeah,
have
just a sec.
yeah. So this is ABBA, and this is we have a presence in Kochi where we do deliver fresh fruits and vegetables to folks in Kochi. The numbers are there. Feel free to reach them. We also have Anshu Matthew from Bangalore South. He has the numbers there. He also does the same thing. He's our partner, and so also Divya from Bangalore North, who also should be actually north or northeast actually. So they are also part of our group, and we try and reach out to consumers there as well. So Habib from Kochi, Anshu Matthew from Bangalore South, and Divya from Bangalore East. So these are the folks who joined us today, and you can see them in your gallery if you like. And these are the folks who can actually interact with you in your local areas if you are there. So the format of ABBA generally is to have a theme, and the theme for today is how do I go organic? So this is a question that many people have asked us as to, okay, we understand organic is good and we want to go organic, but where do I start? So this is what Devi keeps telling about, having a jackfruit in front of you, you have a knife, you don't know where to start, you don't know how to cut it. This is where most people struggle. So this is the next half an hour, we're just going to talk about how can we go organic. So I'll just make a few general comments and then Devi will explain further as to how, as a homemaker and as a person who's been involved with organic farming for over 15 years, how she would recommend, and we are open to questions. Madhu is the host here, so she will actually let us know if there are any questions on the chat. Feel free to ask questions. This is a Q&A session. This is not speeches or presentation. There are no slides other than what you've already seen. So it's a very informal session. So, in the general comment about how do I go organic, one of the things I would say is it's important to be organic, and that is in our motto also we talk about be organic, buy organic. It's very important to be organic, as in to recognize that you are part of nature, that you are not above nature and you cannot control nature. So you need to actually accept that you're part of nature and try and build in as much of natural things in your life, be it in your food, in your cosmetics, in what you use in at home, in every which way, what you wear, in every which way, try to build in your nature into your life. So that is the basic idea of being organic. And so once you do that, you understand why certain things are the way they are. And that way, the transition to organic becomes much more sustainable. And otherwise, one would try organic food for once or twice and then kind of drop off. So to avoid that, it's important for all of us to understand that we have to be part of the nature, be organic, and that is a critical part of that. And when we talk about food, we are not just talking about organic food. That's the other aspect I'd like to talk about, is that we are also talking about organic whole foods. So by that I mean things which are the way the nature intended. So without much processing, without adding things which are not necessary to be added, the way nature intended. So when we talk about rice or sugar or any of those items, try and be as natural as possible, which means that you consume the bran, the fiber, and everything that comes with it as nature intended, and that's very important. So with those two immediate points, I'd like to ask Devi to kind of talk about how you would like to encourage consumers to go organic, and what they should do if they've decided to go organic. How do they go organic?
Thanks, Ramesh. The thing is, people have this belief that either I have to go organic completely, 100%, or there is no point in going organic, which is not the case. I would say that from our own experience and that of others, that whatever little you can go organic, every bit helps. So when you look at it, if you think that, due to whatever reasons, either because of convenience or because of cost or because of there are families where some of the elders will not agree to changing the groceries bought, various constraints. If you're not able to go organic completely, what you can do is pick and choose certain items and then gradually increase the number of items you go organic on. Suppose you have a, let us assume it's not convenient, but today what the case in India is that you can reach, I mean, I would like to add to what Ramesh said. If you are in a location other than Kochi, Bangalore South, and Bangalore Northeast, Biobasic sends groceries all over India, almost to most accessible pin codes we send. So, and you can order from us for that also. So the thing is, the advantage from these three locations is you get all the fresh produce as well, and you get to interact with people right there. These young people who have taken on the cause of organic. So I would say, I mean, if you ask me specifically, what would be the items that I would go organic on? I would go on oils because oils form the basis of, I mean, most cooking, Indian cooking, we would use some oil or the other. And the difference between commercial oils and cold pressed oils is vast. So that would make a big difference. And for those of us who are worried about the cost of oils, because organic oils definitely cost much more than, in fact, compared to any other products, the oils tend to cost more. The difference between oils, commercial oils and organic oils tend to be high. But having said that, every one of our oil producers, the farmers tell us that you need to use only 60% of cold pressed oil to the, compared to a commercial oil that you use. So in the quantity reduce, it is a question of reducing the quantity, but you do not compromise on flavor and eating something good. The second thing I would recommend that we can go organic, particularly where you have children, is sweetness, because children love to have sugar with everything. And white sugar, as is available today, is not the best of things to have. So if you can shift your children to raw cane sugar, that would be great. And that is quite an inexpensive option. I mean, it is not that expensive in terms of, and many children can be convinced to have it because a raw cane sugar mixed or stirred in milk just looks like a Bonvita or some kind of malted drink. So if you just introduced them the taste, you could introduce them to the taste of raw cane sugar by, just layering it on a dosha, saying like it's like a pancake. Something interesting. You do it, they get to like the taste. Once they get to like the taste, it's great. And similarly, we have different options. Like you have jaggery, which you can add to your kheers, or the raw cane sugar itself instead of white sugar. You can add. Of those of you who are particular, there is brown sugar. I mean, we would not recommend brown sugar as a healthy option, but definitely better than white sugar. And then for those of you who want low glycemic index sweetness, there is also palm sugar and palm jaggery. Jaggery. So these are options you can definitely think of. And the other range of things that I would say, of course, vegetables and fruits, because everybody would like to shift to organic for vegetables and fruits. And we would say yes, definitely. And there again, we would say that, the quality of vegetables and fruits, you will find that the organic offers much better taste, and it's more filling. The other category I would say is spices. Particularly, I feel particularly strongly about turmeric, because turmeric is something we use supposedly to remove the poisons in the other food. Traditionally, it has got medicinal value. It is seen as something which will, purify the food. And today we are eating it laced with chemicals. So maybe, and also, turmeric powder definitely, and other spices. And spices, if you look at it, the budgetary impact is very, very low, because the quantities of spices that we have, and what you would find the difference in your budget by going organic is very insignificant. So start with that. To that, maybe add a red rice or a brown rice if you wanted to move. And another very popular item with a lot of customers is whole wheat flour. I mean, we never thought of it, but then whole wheat flour is one item we find that we don't have to, advocate or push. People just buy once and then they automatically come back for it. That is something which is, we found it to be very popular. And people are, I think, rices is something people are sensitive to, but rices we would definitely recommend slowly going into it.
So, Madhu, if there are any questions, you can please tell us. But another thing I'd add here while you're looking at that is, I think most people struggle with, okay, how can I spend so much on organic food? And we have a video out there which talks about why we think organic food is not very costly. We've done some research to tell you that it costs only 7 rupees 50 paisa per meal per head for a family of 4. So it's not very expensive as you think. So I think you should revisit that. But for you to go completely organic. But if you what we recommend also is to take some small baby steps. If affordability is an issue, or you think that organic is too expensive, I can't do it, then what we recommend is, look, try to do, let's set aside 500 rupees extra for this month's grocery or whatever. And in that 500 rupees, like Devi says, you can actually have an additional, you can shift to groundnut, your cold pressed oils within that 500 rupees. So you can budget it out that way and then try it out and then see how it impacts, whether you like the taste. And I'm sure you will like the taste. And once you like the taste, then you keep on, then you understand what organic food means, and then you can start developing. And that 500 can become 1,000 or 2,000 over a period of time. But I think that's something. So don't let budget be an issue. But I think people who are right now listening to this, I don't think will have any problem in adding a 500 rupee extra to their regular 6,000, 7,000 rupee budget for groceries in a month. So it's not a big issue. So try it that way. Try it out that way. Madhu, any questions? We've been chatting for some time now.
But we don't have any questions yet. So I would like to remind people to put their questions in the chat. Anything from Anshu sir or Divya ma'am, we are happy to take.
Yeah, Anshu, this is dedicated. This session is dedicated to you because you came up with this thing. Okay, how do I go organic? So Anshu, feel free to ask or share any comments that you wanted to. And so also Divya's.
Habib is also there.
Habib might be there. I'm not sure.
If there are no questions, then we can move to.
Yeah, go on. Then you.
I think that Madhu, shall I go ahead, or is there?
Ramesh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Anshu, we can hear you now.
Hello.
Anshu, go ahead. Maybe you can go ahead. Okay, here's a question that I get from Kannan. Madhu, you want to try? I can't see it on my screen, so if you can read it.
I got this. Yeah. We are getting some questions. Great. So Kannan asks, is there any soft copy of a product list or something that we have so we can decide so they can know what we offer and what they can buy?
Madhu, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. We do have this. I think the easiest way for you to reach out is that if you're in Bangalore, reach out to Anshu or Divya, whose numbers we had given earlier. If you're in Kochi, reach out to Habib. But if you're not in any of those locations, then feel free to check out Biobasics. You're from Hyderabad. Thanks, Kannan, for joining here. Check out biobasics.org. You will find all our products in there. And Madhu can actually give the link to that website anyway, so you can actually check it out there.
Yeah, I would also like to add that this recording will be on YouTube, and then we'll give all our Bangalore, Kochi, Coimbatore numbers and our website in the description below. So I'm sure you can find more information about us there. We have another question. One second. So what Lakshmi ma'am wants to know, what are some of the changes she can expect to see when she shifts to organic?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it is not like you would see dramatic shifts suddenly, because when it comes to changing a diet, it's a slow transition that you see. But one of the things first you start experiencing is a taste difference. You will, once you get used to these wholesome tastes, some of the other things seem very bland. Or, for instance, for us, uh, I think what we can vouch for is both of us live only on Biobasics grocery and nothing else. So one of the things which is significantly different for us is eating red rice. We are from Kerala, we are committed red rice eaters. And when we eat red rice, we eat much less of it. We feel fuller. If we stay fuller longer, we tend to eat much less. And so we find that without any particular effort to diet, we are able to, control our diet. So that is one thing. With some of the things, what you will, it's not an evident change, but rock cane sugar is another thing. So when you have the unprocessed rock cane sugar, you also have iron. Traditionally, people had good or jaggery because it also contained iron, whereas white sugar doesn't. The molasses are retained and the iron is there, still there in the rock cane sugar. So a lot of micronutrient requirements are fulfilled. Then if you look at the pohas that you have, we have the red rice and black rice and millet pohas or avals. You will again find yourself eating a very high fiber diet, which without compromising on taste. So each of these elements, but if you ask me visibly what do you see changing, I think it's just a sense of wellness that you feel. That is, I mean, it could be said to be our bias, but a sense of wellness that you tend to feel is something we feel.
No, I would also add, we've been talking to customers for the past, 5 years or so, who try out our things and then they say there are some feedback on that. So one of the things some of these things I can just mention offhand. One is about bananas, for example. People find that the organic bananas, you can actually, the regular bananas are very bland, as she said. It's kind of like pap, whereas there is a distinct flavor in organic bananas. Potatoes is another example. I've had a couple of customers tell us how the regular potatoes have a metallic taste to it, whereas the organic potatoes don't have that. I would say the biggest thing, once you go completely organic, I think you will start, like she said, I have experienced it when we went organic about 15 years ago, is that, the sense of sometimes the bloatedness that you find, there is a certain amount of heartburn that when you eat certain things, all those things have gone. I have a distant memory of that. So that is gone completely. So, and particularly when you use oils. So the oils that we use today in the market are not the best of the things for any of us. So once you shift to a cold pressed oil, you can distinctly know the difference in terms of the heartburn and other things also. So I mean, everybody's body is different, so they react differently. But you will, if you're in touch with your body and you can actually notice some of these things, it'd be good. And the other thing I would mention is in terms of the motion or the elimination that we go through. I think it is much more. You don't feel constipated at all because of the fiber content in what we're consuming. So if you're having whole foods, be it rice or wheat, particularly wheat, when it comes to shift from refined flour to a whole wheat flour, the chapatis or rotis that you have, you will feel the difference in the motion part of it also. So these are some indicators we can throw at you.
Having said that, I mean, we are not qualified to give health advice. So if you have any specific health problems, you should consult your doctor or Vaidya or your nutritionist, because we can only talk from anecdotal experience, and we are not giving you any particular health advice.
I would add, instead of anecdotal, I would even say that we are talking from lived experience, because we've gone through this for the past 15 years, and we would never go back to not going organic. Yeah. Any more questions, Madhu?
Yeah, we just have like one more. They are asking if we have an outlet in Chennai, because we have for Bangalore, Kochi, and Coimbatore. We just wanted to.
Right. So hopefully Chennai is on its way. So we are planning for that. But for now, if the groceries are always available online, so that is very much there. The fresh produce is only possible if we have a presence there. So we want to we make sure that we have very good control over how we procure our fresh produce and how we deliver it. It has to be a completely transparent process. So we are waiting for us to start our outlet. And remember that our outlet is not a typical outlet. It is more, it's a home delivery kind of a model. So you place your order by phone, WhatsApp, email, and we deliver that at home. So that's how we work, twice a week. So vegetables are twice a week. Some places we even have groceries being delivered almost every day. So that's also possible. If Anshu is back, Anshu was trying to say something. You want to
Oh,
say?
yes.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I have a comment from one customer, and an experience of mine to probably share with you. The comment from the customer is that the products are great. However, when she was trying to use the rice had a requirement of that extra cooking time, right? So, which she was not really aware of it. So there are certain products that if there is an opportunity that we tell our customers that take care of these points when you actually go ahead with cooking of these items, then I think that will be a little more helpful in terms of informing our customers that okay, use our products in a better way to get the best results out of it.
Anshu, to that, I would like to respond. I don't know whether that particular package had the narration missing. Usually, all of our rices do carry, as you would have noticed, a narration sticker behind, which also gives you the cooking time. Maybe I don't know whether that particular package had the narration sticker missing. So if ever you see any of them with the narration sticker missing, we can send you that. It is precisely because of this reason we do give instructions on how much of pre-soaking is required, how many whistles, and we always say that with the red rices, don't stint on the whistles. A couple of or 3-4 extra whistles will do the rice no harm. In fact, one of the things where people go wrong with traditional rices is they don't cook it sufficiently. So the kind of little uncooked rice gives them a sense that, oh, it is not digestible, I don't like it, it doesn't work for me. So we do that. Please pass on that information, and if any other rice that she's using doesn't have cooking instructions, we can definitely share it. And please do check all the rices. Yeah, online also most of it is there, but every packet usually will have it. And if it's missed out, definitely take care.
Sure. And do you suggest to cook the rice in a cooker or in a vessel, like traditionally how we cook?
Ideally, traditionally, cooking vessel is better, they say. But having said that, the modern day life reality is such that we also cook in a cooker, because here the rice is cooked by Ramesh every day because he's the one working from home. So I pre-soak it in the morning, wash it, pre-soak it, and so he's the current expert on every rice. And then the few days that I cook, he's constantly critical that I'm not getting the consistency as well as he does. So the short answer is cooker is easier if you if you're juggling a work day along with cooking traditional rice. Except for raw rices, where it can be cooked in a vessel, we also give it in the cooking instruction that you can cook in an open vessel.
So white rices, what I do now that I am the expert on rices and cooking rices. White rices, what you can do, I do it in a regular vessel with 3:1 kind of a ratio, three glasses of water for 1 glass of rice, and the moment it starts boiling, you just reduce the you put it on simmer, and then let it simmer for some time till it goes. So this is for the white rices. So when I say white rices, these are the unpolished or semi-polished kind of rices. Okay, not the rices that are available in the market. As far as red rices are concerned, I'm a big fan of red rices now. Having grown up on white rice all my life, I've now shifted to red rice and have a fantastic feeling about it. And I've been doing this for the past 4-5 years now. So I think red rices actually are, like Devi said, you can't go wrong if you put it in a pressure cooker and put as much. You can even put more water. You can actually, once it is done, 3 whistles. The rule of 3 apply. So 3 glasses of water for 1 glass of rice. Same thing applies in a cooker. 3 whistles. Switch it off. Put it on simmer and for about 10 minutes, and you should be done. But even if you put in a little bit more extra water, you can drain it out, and you can get a fantastic kanji out of it. So I prefer that at times, depending on the rice. I prefer that also at times. So and each of these grains, like Devi says, the red rice grains actually flour. They actually are softer when they are cooked properly. So if you're finding that your grains after you cooking, if it's harder and if it's kind of then you've not cooked it enough.
And
Okay.
we soak the rices.
Yes.
The red rices particularly would do well with about 2 to 3 hours of pre-soaking. So suppose you're cooking before leaving for work, what you do is first thing in the morning, when you're setting your coffee, wash your rice and soak it. And then, somewhere towards the end, when your breakfast is done, you put the rice on the stove. That's something you can follow. And white rice is also some amount of soaking. The parboiled rices would require some amount of soaking for this.
Right.
Thank
you. Right. And the other experience I want to share from customers and personally from myself is the fresh vegetables that we actually get on a regular basis. I'm a big fan of the capsicums, the carrots, the cucumbers, right? So, I like to eat a lot of salad, and also I've received good feedback about the fruits, the watermelons that we give, the freshness of the watermelons and the purity of that. So this is something that I wanted to share with people who are in the call. And also I would like to add that, we supply in Bangalore South 3 days in a week. We supply it on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, and a Saturday. So that's our delivery schedule. And feel free to reach out to us on the numbers which Ramesh and Devi have actually put it on the group. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich.
We have just like one last question from Lakshmi. They want to know that there are so many traditional varieties that we offer. Is there any particular recipe we can share for these varieties that will go well with?
So thank you, Lakshmi. We do have quite a few recipes online. I mean, if you look at our social media pages, other than the table rices, most of the food that is cooked there is what we eat. I try to kind of ineffectually photograph it while Ramesh is trying to admonish me, saying it's growing cold. So it's done in a hurry. We do share the recipes. It's online on Facebook or Instagram. You can find various recipes using these traditional rices, the typical table rice, or some traditional dish, or even a take of a risotto or a modern Southeast Asian rice, different things, or rice in coconut milk. Most of the cases, recipes are there. If you don't find the recipe online, check back with us, ping us. We will be happy to share something. And we are trying to add more recipes as we go along.
I'll be very surprised, Lakshmi, if you don't find recipes on Facebook and Instagram. These guys, both Madhu and Devi, have been posting recipes almost on a daily basis.
Pictures, not the
The
recipes.
pictures there definitely, but if you like any particular preparation, please feel free to reach out.
I think we are done with the questions.
Okay. So anyway, so we've decided, we have told ourselves that we will not take too much of our your time as well as spend our time as well. This is going to be a quick huddle. These are the kind of questions that we expect. Let people, let other people know. Every week, Saturday, 6 o'clock, we're planning to meet for about half an hour, and then we have this chat. Let this be ongoing. This is, this is our dining table that we are talking from, and almost everything that we offer, we put out from biobasics. It actually goes through the dining table test here. Devi prepares it, and we eat it before we pass it on to biobasics. So this is as informal as it can get, as close as you can get to the people who are running biobasics, and feel free to ask as many questions as you like. But we will close it at this point, and thank you all for joining. And Devi wants to have the last word.
Yeah. So to that session, you see what I want to say about how do I go organic. The first thing is to overcome the barrier that is a big transition. Just go ahead, order something. Let's not overanalyze the thing. Let's not worry too much. What should I order? Why should I order? Let's, like I was this morning having a chat within my old school group about the farmer issue and etc. And then they were looking for more data. I said by the time we have proved to ourselves that it is good, I said there'll be no organic farmers left. So maybe the thing is to do it today so that tomorrow for our children there are organic farmers left. So the first and the most important step is just go ahead, get something organic, and that would be a great beginning, whatever it is.
Yeah, and do it today. All right. So that's it from us, from Ramesh and Devi, signing off. Madhu, our good friend and our host today, he will host this is being recorded, so this will be out there on the YouTube channel shortly. And once again, thanks everybody for